Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Richie EB. Ayan. Hello. How was my day? Oh, I've got some neck pain. I've got some neck pain. I don't know where did that come from? I probably just slept weird. This won't work at all. Hello.
Capcom presents Marvel Comics.
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So everyone's getting neck pain. Yeah, it's very, very strange. Oh, 2, 2, 1, 2. Oh, yeah, it's not too serious, so it's okay. It's not too serious, but it is a bit annoying. Lou, hello. It's going good. Richie EB, hello. ayn J1FFY. This won't work at all. And Michael Benny and Alvaro. Welcome back. This is Winlator. The second game we've got working. Well, actually, I did get another game working, Resident Evil 7, but the FPS on that was really low, so I just thought I'd see if I could fix that. But this is my backup game. Resident Evil 7 does kind of work, but it's I was just getting like 10 FPS, and I think I was doing something wrong. So we have MVC 3, UMVC 3. So to begin with, I found out a bit more about Winlator and the issues with it. So we'll go through that in a moment. Let's just answer a quick question. Let's just answer a quick question from Richie EB. Which one has the best comfort, the Odin2 or the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro? So the Odin 2 easily, actually, because the Odin 2 has these grips here, these nice grips. So the grips do help with comfort a lot. The RP4 Pro, my RP4 Pro is just at the other side of the room at the moment, but it is a little bit less comfortable because it has no grips, of course. It has no grips here. It's just flat. Okay, right, so we've run into the issue straight away on Winlator. Right, so Winlator sometimes loses the controls. So you can see here, right? I'm pressing a button and it's just not doing anything. It's not working. So sometimes the controller will just disconnect, which is quite annoying. It happens mostly when you leave it alone. So I think it just times out. So that's quite annoying. To fix it, you need to go into you need to basically restart your game. So try not to leave your controller idle much on Winlator. So we'll just put that back in. The next thing about Winlator, which we found out in our Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes test, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes test, is that the triggers don't behave too well. So in Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, or in most first-person shooter games, most of the time you're going to press L2 to aim down sight, or to aim your gun, or to accelerate or brake, on the L2 or R2. But the problem with these, right, is when you move the stick at the same time, it kind of disengages the trigger. So you'll get this, even though you're holding L2 to aim down sight, once you move, it will stop aiming down sight. So this is a quite annoying problem. A workaround which some people have talked about is changing that mapping to L1, because it doesn't seem to affect the digital triggers, which is a bit strange. So even if you have your L2 and R2 set to digital input in the ayn software, it still has this bug where you hold it down, you move your thumbstick, and then it will release your L2. So you could try remapping to L1 or just waiting for it to get fixed, because at the moment it's a bit of an annoying problem in Winlator. I believe there are some other ways to remap the controls. Another way would be to use the keyboard controls instead, because the way that I map my controls is full as one-to-one, like full controller. So like L1 is L1, X input L1, R1 is X input R1, etc. So everything is just duplicating the controller. I can show you that here. So I have my controls, my Odin2 set up. It's just generally, not this. It's just, where is it? It's here. I just have everything mapped one-to-one. But it is possible to map these to keyboard commands. So when you press the X button, for example, or the Y button, it can trigger a keyboard command. And I've heard actually that might be more reliable. So for games that have, you can remember all the keyboard controls for, you could do it this way. But at the moment, I'm just mapping everything to X input. So there's some control issues there. I will go through another issue just now. So when you move, you might have just noticed the brightness just turned down, right? So it has the same issue as I think Dolphin, where if you touch some of the controls and they're not bound to anything, then the brightness will change on your screen. So to mitigate this, you need to bring the screen out. Bring the sidebar out. And then you'll see straight away that when I press on the black on the inactive area, the brightness comes back again. And then watch this: when I move my thumbstick, the brightness goes down. Yeah. So to fix this, you basically need to bring the brightness back. So make sure you. Okay. So my brightness is at full brightness now, and then make sure your input controls has got a profile set up. So this is quite, a lot of annoyances in Winlator. Usually related to the controls, but if we kind of work around some of these, I think it's usable. So you can see my controls are working now, which is good. I'm able to get into the game, and I do have the FPS counter in the top left, so I'm getting 120 FPS right at the moment. It's quite good, but I think when we get into the game, it will be a bit more closer to like 60 or 55, something like that. Okay, Richard EB, the ayn Odin is lighter than the Steam Deck, I believe. I think the Steam Deck's closer to, is it 400-500 grams? It's a lot bigger, the Steam Deck. It's a 7-inch device. Alvaro asking, have I heard about the new ayn device? Yes, I have. It's 320 grams. It has mini LED screen apparently. So the mini LED screen is interesting because we've not seen it in a handheld device before. Apparently the color is very accurate, and the contrast ratio, the brightness is very high. Should be a good screen, I guess. The Odin2 screen was very good, so they did a good job with this. So I'm expecting the screen to be great. Acrylic asking, have I tried any emulators on Winlator? I'm particularly interested in CMU. I've just tried RPCS. Is it RPCS3? RPSC3? The PlayStation 3 one, and I didn't have much success. Granted, I was trying to run Farming Simulator 15 and Dark Souls, but I didn't have much success in the past with those. So I will try again though, because I think it's good. It's a good thing to try. Okay, Peyton, just hopped in. What is the actual point of running? What is the actual point of emulating Windows? So, well, with Windows games, there's a lot available, right? Most games came out on Windows at some point, so I'm sure there's some exclusive games. There's going to be some exclusive games. Or also you have to remember on Android, we don't have access to Xbox or PlayStation 3 emulators or Wii U emulator. So there's quite a few emulators that we're missing on PC side, x86 side. that we want to run on Android. So that would be the point, because a lot of these games were actually ported to the PC. So it's yeah, there's a good chance a game came out on PC. Okay, Richie EB, are these issues you speak of just in Winland? Yes, so these issues with controller and losing input and brightness things, they are all on Winlator only. The brightness thing I have seen on Dolphin before, the Wii and GameCube emulator, but it's quite easily mitigated there as well, so it's just a little workaround. Richard EB, the deck's a bit heavy, holding it up in bed. Yeah, even this one I think is a bit heavy for bedtime gaming. Maybe you want to look for the RP4 Pro. The Odin2 is still a little bit big. 82FX, can I try Arkham Origins? I could do. I could do. Arkham Origins. Did it come out on Switch? Arkham Origins. Yeah, there is a Switch port of that, and it's probably got a better chance on running Switch side, to be honest. TMS talking about the Lenovo Legion Go and our friend Russ. The Lenovo Legion Go, I've seen one before, and I just thought it was huge, so I'm not that interested in that device, I'm afraid. Okay, Sutang Wong, hello. And Chemical Burrito, hello as well. Airwalk 1616, hello. Okay, so let's play a bit of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So again, I was just idle for a few minutes, and already I've lost the controls again. So it's quite an annoying issue, but it is easily remedied. So don't leave your controls don't leave your controls idle. Oops, I did the wrong thing. I should have started my shortcut. That's better. Airwalk 1616, I really don't know about the RG Cube. Yeah, it's best to wait for the actual information before sort of making any conclusions, because the RG Cube, even though like there's all these leaks of it, and there's some and there's videos of it and stuff, there's not been any actual official information, so it could change, because I mean the RG556 at some point was meant to have a Dimensity CPU in it, and then that changed. So there's things always changing, and these kind of leaks and these bits of information that come out, they're kind of all designed to get some feedback from the users before an actual product comes out. So you've probably seen other companies do similar things where they leak out little bits of information and then see how the audience reacts to it. That's how I think that this is working right now, because it's way too early to I mean, Ambenic hasn't even released the RG35XX SP yet, so the RG Cube is probably at least 2 months away. Acrylic, how is the input lag with Winlator? So I want to find out actually. Actually, that's another good thing from TMS, which he just said. So TMS is asking about the battery. So I've ran this a couple of times already, so let's just do a battery test from now. 67%. So I'm at 67% right now in this part of the stream, and then we'll play a bit of the game and actually, whoops. We'll play a bit of the game and then see how it goes. I think it would run better, or we could save a bit of battery if we're playing with VSync on. But I'll give the settings a look as well. So I'm running at 720p. Have anti-aliasing on quite high. I can turn that down a bit actually. And then I have the texture quality VFX on highest and high. So it's quite high settings. Oops. So yeah, let's just go. Oh man, what happened there? Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, this hasn't happened before. Like I was using the. That's really annoying, actually. I was in the middle of using the controls and they disconnected. So I didn't see that on Ground Zeroes last time. That was a bit strange, actually. That was a bit strange. Maybe it was because I was messing around the menu. That's a bit. So I guess try not to touch the menu. That's a bit annoying. Okay, let's actually try and play again. Odin2 looks interesting. Okay, so I'm okay with that. I'm not that interested. I think it's going to be. I mean, it's Odin 2. It's Odin hardware. Odin's always exciting. Yeah, I'm not super excited. Who should it be? Let's take a Magneto. Let's take Deadpool. Am I using the regular version of Winlator? No, I'm using Winlator Frost, which is I linked it in the description. So, whoa, I'm feeling kind of weird. Yeah, I'm feeling. Okay, it feels kind of weird using the D-pad a bit more on this device. Okay, so there was a question about the input lag, and I feel like the input lag is okay, but I can't do the. Okay, there you go. I was having a bit of difficulty doing the fireball, but I think it's more to do with the controls than any input lag. I feel like the input lag is okay. It's just I need to get used to this D-pad because it's a bit small. Okay, let me make sure I do my my tests. Okay, Dragon Punch. Try to do some Dragon Punches. Let's maybe swap to Deadpool. Deadpool doesn't show up, does he? Oh, I got smashed in the face. Is this the way to go over any handheld for power? The Odin2 is the most powerful Android device right now. There is one coming out soon, of course, which is the ayn Pocket S. Well, the ayn Pocket S will be more powerful, but on paper. But I'm not sure how it will actually. That will translate. Winlator, yeah, I mean Winlator Frost, I don't know what this person has done, but a lot of the things work quite well in terms of controls. I mean, with the controls, you know, there are some problems which I mentioned before, but they're a lot better than, you know, not having any controls at all. Because with other Winlator builds, I've just had no success getting the controls working at all. So this is one of the first ones which I had, you know, working controls. Peyton, would PlayStation streaming work better than Winlator? As in just using the PC running PlayStation games, not from a PS5? Streaming is always going to run better. It's always going to work better. Sorry, because it's using your PC, right? It's just streaming the image. It's just streaming the image to your handheld. So most cases the streaming is going to be more reliable. Yeah, you'll have to. Hello to Cindy Chen, by the way. You have to find the APKs, yeah. Yeah, you'll have to find the APKs and the OBBs, is it? The OBB files, the actual data files. But then there's usually some issues about like device detection, because I feel like some of these Android games, they just don't work because they don't see your handheld as a valid device. You know, they're made for like phones. I've seen this a couple of places where it's a bit annoying actually. Because I've tried to get alien isolation working, for example, on some unsupported devices, and I've had problems with that. Also, like Fortnite, I think doesn't work on some of these, which is kind of annoying. Oh, I'm getting blasted. This guy's huge. Okay, let's switch to Magneto. You'd think that Magneto could just destroy this guy, right? Whoa. I got him. This won't work at all. Asking about the ROG Ally X. The ROG Ally X is a nothing a nothing burger, as they say. There's not really anything there. Like, it's just they improved the ROG Ally, and they just wanted to make a fuss about it. I don't think there's anything that nothing really that nothing much to see there. It'll be interesting to see what the ROG Ally 2 is more than this one. Although, like, I do like the black. The ROG Ally will look better in black, because I think the white one looks a bit cheap. I've never liked the white ROG Ally. I thought it's a bit too. I don't know. It looks a bit plasticky to me. Oh, I got. Okay, as you can see, this game is running pretty well actually. I did have a couple of like shader stutters the last time I played it, but I feel like once everything's loaded in, and that happens very quickly. Like, the game is very good, very smooth. It's perfect actually. It's perfect. In terms of input lag, I'm not feeling anything bad. I'm able to fire off the supers. I know I'm not the best Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player in the world, but I'm doing okay, I feel like. So yeah, I think this game is like, if you want to play this game, I think this is the best way to play it. There is a Vita version, which is obviously downgraded for handheld, but it doesn't work on the Vita emulator. So this is probably the best way to play it, besides streaming. Nice. Whoa. Almost lost my Akuma. So for me, I actually think this is the worst Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel vs. Capcom. I'd never liked the third one because it was too much stuff going on, but I know some people really love this game. Chicken McNugget, is it smooth? Yes, it is. It's quite good. It's working quite well. Peter B, welcome back. Rai, yes. Winlator on RP4 Pro and anything in Mali, to be honest, is not too. It's not as spectacular as this. You need a Snapdragon, really. Sutang Wong, should you get an Odin2 or an ayn Pocket S? That is the question. So I've heard some initial reviews about the ayn Pocket S is that the battery is not that great on it. I mean, you could take that as a rumor because these reviews are coming from China at the moment, and I'm not sure how how detailed those reviews are. And the performance is meant to be good, but because these Android emulators aren't too well programmed yet. Like, we're not getting that much performance increase over the Odin2. I'm getting smashed here. I'm getting really smashed, yeah. I need to switch to Magneto. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, I'm not sure about the Pocket S. If you want the Odin 2 in a smaller package, and you have the money, I would say the Pocket S is better. But it's debatable whether you're getting your money's worth in terms of performance. Pure value, I think the Odin 2 is still better. Because it's $299 versus what is it? $399 for the $399 for the Pocket. Oh, I'm getting destroyed. $399 for the lowest Pocket S, and that Pocket S is going to be the 1080p one as well. I do have a 1440p Pocket S coming, so I'll let you guys know if it's any good. But I kind of wanted the 1440p one because it's quite unique. There's not many devices with 1440p. Whoa. Oh. My Deadpool completely missed. Alright, I think this is the end of the game, man. I'm gonna die. Unless I can play really, really well for the next couple of minutes. Which is probably not likely. I just spam fireballs. Oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm dead. Acrylic, is this the base model? Yes, it is the base model. So I can quickly... how do I do that? The floating icon. The RAM usage is 54% according to the side panel. Is Winlator good on the 556? Question from Gerard Brad. No, it's not, because the 556 also has a Mali GPU, and this emulator is not good on Mali GPUs. It needs a Snapdragon. If you don't have that, then you can just expect to play like very simple games, maybe like Stardew Valley, something like this. Okay, the music's going a bit funny now. But anyway, here's your test of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think it's actually quite good. Definitely the best way to play this on handheld. Okay, I'm just going to restart again because it's a bit... the music was going a bit funny. I'll play one more round and then we'll have a little mess around on the second and first games. Yeah, it's make sure this is on. Maybe I'll take you through for the last half an hour or so. I'll take you through how I set it up. Goodest, hello. Battery check. Yep, sure. 59% battery check. So that was after one. What was it? 3 fights. Airwalk1616, do I own any gaming laptops with any telescopic controllers? No, I don't. I don't own a gaming laptop. Okay, I forgot what Heroes and Heralds was. Oh, it's like some card game. I don't think I ever played Heroes and Heralds because I had this game on Vita. I had the game. It was one of the launch games which I bought. But I don't think I ever played this Heroes and Heralds mod. I think it's because it was in Japanese when I bought it. So I won't be playing that. Is there like a story mod? Oh, that is the story mod. Okay, what mission mod? Okay, what's mission mod? Oh, these are a bit crap, these missions. Attack using a Hadouken. Well, there is some single player content here to be played, I guess. But it's not very exciting. It's like, can you do a Hadouken? Okay, let's try and play Heroes and Heralds. Okay, I don't know what this is actually. It's quite...
Welcome to the world of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where the finest heroes
Okay, let's be some different characters here.
the fight of your life.
Gerard Brad, how is Frost different from the regular release of Winlator? I will show you that afterwards actually because it's a bit complicated. I'll tell you what Frost adds, or what these guys. You know when you see like Frost or you see Aether or Fox Rain, you know Winlator and then somebody's name afterwards. I'll tell you what they do. I'll try and explain it in the way that I understand it anyway. I could be wrong, but I'll let you know after we play a bit more of this. Because I'll do half an hour or so on setting up Winlator after this. Peyton, can you run Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim? Yes, that's I want to get Oblivion working. So I've got Oblivion running, but I've always had problems with the controls. So Oblivion is one of the games that I really want to play on this actually. If I got a portable Oblivion, I would be really happy. Okay, what the hell am I doing here? This guy looks crazy. Has this guy got any special moves? Okay, Hawkeye's got a... Oh man, his special move is crazy. Okay, his special move's not so interesting. This just makes me want to play Beautiful Joe when I'm... That's ridiculous, that. Okay, Hawkeye seems pretty OP actually. Airwalk 1616. I don't own any tablets. I forgot one tablet. And we have a iPad Pro, and then I have a Samsung like an 8.4 inch device. So we don't have any gaming laptops. Okay, I'll take you through setting up this game specifically. I'll just catch up with some of these. FF14 online. I don't know if you're going to have much success with FF14, to be honest, because that's an online game, which is going to be difficult. But it sounds a bit like hard to run as well. That's my guess. That's my guess. Gerard Brad, Fallout 1 and 2 are... Fallout 1 and 2 can run on anything because Portmaster has Fallout 1 and 2 support. So if you want to play Fallout 1 and 2, any Portmaster device would work for that. And there are a lot of Portmaster devices. Chicken McNugget, can you run Maple Story? I bet you can. I bet you can. I'm not sure. I've never tried it, but that would be my guess. Yeah, Sutan Wong, they do have this UMVC3 on Vita, but I couldn't get this working, and I had I had some issues. Monty Vaughn, Mugen, I would think that Mugen would work on this. And Drubo, I kind of agree with you in terms of reflexes. Like, I always thought this is the game where they went too far. They just went too far. It's too much. Too many flashing lights, too many characters. 3 on 3 I think is too much. I don't like 3 on 3 Marvel vs. Capcom. I prefer the first one. Okay, Peyton, I hope you have a good day. Yeah, we're gonna try and do we'll try and do one Winlator game a week. That might be that might be a realistic target. I do have another game possibly in the works, which is going to be Resident Evil 7. But as I said, I got Resident Evil 7 running, but it was at like 10 FPS, so it wasn't really that. It wasn't that good. Mugen would be quite cool actually. I subscribe to some Mugen accounts on Twitter, and I like watching random Mugen fights on Twitter. What's the channel called again? Salty Bet. Yeah, I used to watch Salty Bet a lot. TMS asking, do all of AYN's handhelds appear on Indiegogo? I believe so. Yeah, I got this on Indiegogo. But I tip TMS if you want to buy the new Odin handheld, make sure you pre-order within the first few minutes. And make sure you're checking like AYN's Discord or something, because or subscribe to their Indiegogo email, because they do often have a super early bird. So they have an early bird, they have the normal price, and then there's a special super early bird. And that's how I got my Odin2 base for a very cheap price. The super early bird for this handheld was crazy. I remember. I think it was around $225 or something like that. It was ridiculous. The base. Acrylic, a bit of a silly question. Does ray tracing work on Winlator? I don't know, to be honest. We're using like DirectX, Vulkan. I don't really know if the turnip drivers say that you can use ray tracing, which they'll tell Windows ray tracing is available. So I don't know about that. TMS, so what they do is they put it on Indiegogo first, and then they sell on their their own website afterwards at their full price. So it's generally Indiegogo first, and then like maybe 2 months down the line or something, it's only available on their site. Chicken McNugget, if you use Moonlight and Steam Link, is this worth it? Yes. So I was trying some Moonlight over the weekend, and Moonlight works quite well. So Moonlight, and the other partner that you want to use on your PC is called Sunshine, actually. So you run a program called Sunshine on your PC, and then you run the app called Moonlight on your device that you want to stream to. Yep, as Brad says, a good connection is more important. That's, yeah, for sure. All right, so let's go into the tutorial part of this video, just for your information, to try and help me understand a bit of Winlator, to be honest, because I'm not that good at Winlator. I had like a couple of weeks where I just couldn't get anything working. A couple of weekends of frustration. But here's what I feel like this game is a bit easier to get working as well, because I just randomly put some settings in and it seemed to run fine. So I think this one is a good one to get started with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Unfortunately, you can't buy it anymore, I think, which is quite funny. Okay, so we'll start right at the beginning. Yeah, we'll start right at the beginning to get everyone on the same page. All right, so what I did, right, to get this game working. So first off, I installed Winlator at Frost. So this is the Frost modification, or Frost is some kind of person who did some modifications to Winlator, and I'll show you what those are in a moment. But you want to go down into the description and then download Winlator at Frost. You'll get one APK, and when you install that APK, when you install that APK, it's all good. Aldrin A, welcome to the stream. So at this point, you'll have Winlator installed, and then Winlator at Frost, and then you open Winlator, and then you'll see this menu. So generally, you want to create one container per game, and a container is like it's just basically, you can think of it as one operating system or one instance of Windows. Let's just say it's Windows. So in one container, you have one little. It's like one little disk drive of Windows. Like it's just like one C drive. You could think of it this way, right? So each container is going to be one C drive and one little container for your for this particular game, and one container you can't usually see what's in another one. Right, so at this point, you create your container, and then these are the default settings which I go for on the Odin2 anyway. I'll go for 720p. The wine version, you'll get the wine version 8.0.2, and to be honest, I think this one has been working okay for me with those previous two games, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and this game, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You may need different wine versions for different games, but I won't go into that because it's going to be different per game. There are a lot of settings which are different per game, so just be aware of that. Graphics driver for Snapdragon is always going to be Turnip. Generally, Turnip's Turnip's the one that you want, really, because it's basically a custom driver which somebody's written somewhere, and they're the best drivers for Snapdragon. In here, you've got all the turnips you've got available. I just generally use the latest. And then there are some options here, and I don't know what they are, but I bet there's game specific. Some games will need these. So there's a lot of these things where, okay, this particular game needs this kind of thing. DX wrapper, generally you want to use, so the first two, I believe, are for DirectX, is it 8 to 11 games, and then DXVK is I think it's 10, 11, and 12, and then D8VK I think is DirectX 8 or something older. There is a list of these, and I will link to a video which tells you which DX wrapper you should be using. You should generally use DXVK, and then there's something else about DXVK which you need to do later. But this DXVK is generally the one that you want. Yeah, this is a bit of a turnip. It's a bit of a complicated, involved thing. So what I'll do is for this one, if we're setting up Marvel vs. Ultimate vs. Capcom 3, we'll set up DXVK, which basically means DirectX to Vulkan, because we want to use the Vulkan, because this device, right, it doesn't know how to interpret DirectX games. It only knows how to use Vulkan, right? So what you need to do is you need to change the game which is in DirectX to Vulkan, which is what the device knows how to do, knows how to create graphics for. So we'll put this frame rate at 60. I've had problems with this. Remember in the last game I couldn't get Metal Gear Solid 5 to run at 60. This was what someone was telling me to do, and I didn't really think it helped. Even though that person was giving me good advice, I think this is probably what you need to do. It didn't seem to be working on last week. Audio driver is much like the Switch drivers, audio drivers, where audio drivers is much like the Switch side, where you have two options. If you have like crackling or whatever, you can switch to the other one. Show FPS is that thing in the corner, that top left FPS counter, which is useful. Processor affinity. So if you don't know, the Snapdragon has lots of cores in the CPU. So generally you can just leave these. But if you know what you're doing, you can move the workload to the faster cores, because Snapdragon CPUs generally have Snapdragon chips generally have it's like 2 or 4 faster cores, and you can move the workload to those faster cores. And then as you get down here, right, there's not that much else which really needs to be changed. So oh crap, did I just I don't know what I changed that to. Okay, I'll leave that. What I usually change here is I change the GPU to the GeForce 1070. That basically fixes the GPU in the device, and then shows tells everyone inside the container I'm actually a GeForce GTX 1070. So I usually do this, and then there's something down here which I haven't fiddled with too much, but if you've got more RAM in your Odin, then it's probably a good idea to set your video card memory to 4 GB instead of 2. I've been using 2 GB on those previous games, and actually on Metal Gear I was using 4. So it seems a bit I'm not sure about this actually, because my Odin base only has 8 GB, and it seems a bit it's a bit to give it 4 GB of memory, video memory, might be too much on my side. And then this one, if you have problems with some of the games where the cursor is stuck in the middle, I think you can change this to enable, and then it will fix it. For the previous game, we're not really using the mouse, so you can fiddle with this setting if you want to fix issues with the mouse sort of staying in the middle and not moving around, not going off the screen. Okay, let's move to the other tab. So these are bloody Sutang Wong. This is the Odin2 base. Win components I don't even touch. Environment variables I also don't touch this. So sometimes there will be some game specific settings, so you need to touch these, but I've not looked at any of these. Drives, you can put the you can map certain drives, like if you have a shared path or you want to make it a F drive or something, you can do that, and then when you go inside your container, when you boot up the Windows environment, you'll see your drive in there. So I don't touch this either because it's already got your SD card on here. It's not the SD card, the download folder, which is where I put all my games usually. And then advanced, I'm actually using my RE7 preset. So there's some extra settings here related to box 64, which I'll talk about in a moment. Stop services on startup. Some games need this, so I don't know what this is actually. Right, and then basically you make your container. So after you've gone through all those settings, I mean, Winlator is a pain in the ass. Really is a pain in the ass. So it's kind of hard to get your head around. Can it run Windows? You probably can run Windows 95, So you name your container, you save your container, and then it creates it, and then you've got a new container here for your game. But before you do that, actually, there's another set of settings here, which I don't know why they're putting it separate from the containers, because it's something that you can change here. But this is the box 64, box 86 version. I generally use the default or the latest one. So depending on if your game is a 32-bit or 64-bit version, it will use one of these. So I'm not super sure what these do, but if you watch some videos on YouTube or if you look at some blogs, they'll generally tell you some box 64 presets to use. And then when you when you create a new preset, so I'll create preset 3 here. So I have a preset for Metal Gear, I have a preset for Resident Evil, for example. When you create a new preset, they'll give you some settings here. So I don't know what these settings are yet. I don't know what they mean. So you might be better off looking at the video, which I will link in the description, to Lewis Gaming Test, because he goes through what these are. Because some of them will stop your game from booting, or will speed up your game. So it can be a little bit complicated here as well. And then generally down here, I don't change anything. So that's pretty much all of the configuration graphics settings that you do before you even got to Windows. So there's more. Right. When you've got to that stage and you've got your container set up, so I've got my Resident Evil 7 container, I've got all the resolution, the graphics driver, the DirectX wrapper, all sorts, I've got all that stuff which I just talked about set up. At this point, you're ready to boot up your container, right? So I'll just leave this in compatibility. Yeah, I'll just leave all that. So I've set it up how I've just talked about for the last 5-10 minutes. I'll start my container. I'll press this and press run. You use Ryan to one quicken. Yeah, I mean, Wine is useful for that. So you'll come to this screen, which is like your Windows environment here, which is it's very nice. I mean, it means your Windows is working. Now, what Frost did to enhance Winlator, right? In normal Winlator, there's a lot of options down here which are not going to be there. So normal Winlator is missing a lot of this stuff. So for example, I think Winlator does have this actually. So you can do the DirectX cube test. So here we have a nice teapot. This teapot is very good because it means that your DirectX is working inside your container. So potentially you can run games, right? If this is not ever working, it means your container is messed up somehow. It's fucked up. So you've messed up your settings somehow. You messed it up so badly that even your teapot is not showing. So that is the minimum. Basically, that is your dry run for your game. If you don't even get a teapot, if you don't even get any 3D graphics, then you might as well just delete your container and start again, because that would be a bad sign. DX diag, yeah, you need this. If you don't have that, then do not move any further on. Let's have a look at these other DX. I've not seen these for a while. Whoa, okay, I've never seen that one before. That's a new one to me. The Dolphin DX test. I never knew that existed. I think this one I've seen. Oh, it's just a teapot again, but spinning around. I've definitely seen the teapot. I remember that back in the day. But yeah, if you've got all of these tests working, that's a good sign. That means your container's actually, doing something. Oh, DX frame limits. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe this is what we needed for Metal Gear Solid. Okay, right. So basically, Frost has added all of these things here, and game fixes. I didn't know this was here actually, but apparently you can set the game frame rate limits here. Hopefully you can see that. Andrew38, welcome back. Can Odin2 base run Windows OS? No, it can't. I think the best it can do is run Linux, because you can format the entire thing to run Linux, I believe. Okay, and actually, this is not Windows, isn't it? This is Wine that we're using right now. So Frost has basically added some extra stuff here. So they're like registry tweaks or batch files, shortcuts to fix certain games. And I think I might have to, if you're having, actually that's quite good, that one. So you can put a 60 FPS frame rate limit. So that's quite useful, because Marvel vs. Capcom before, it was running at like 120 in the menu or something. That's actually useful. Input bridge is a what Input Bridge is like I think there's an Android application called Input Bridge as well, and it will bridge your controller inputs or your touchscreen inputs into the container. So that's what this thing does. I've not used much of that, and because I don't really know how to set it up, I've just used the built-in Winlator controls stuff, and I will talk about that in a moment. So install here is the most important thing what Frost has added. So this thing down here called DXVK, there are so many DXVK versions or DXVK wrappers here, and generally the one that I use is DXVK DXVK standard, and then DXVK 1.10.3. So that's the one that I've been using to get Metal Gear Solid and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 working. So before you start any game, you need to do this. You need to press this shortcut. It will install the DXVK wrapper, and then that's good. And then there's also the turnip driver you need to set up as well, because we've just told it we're going to use a turnip driver, but I think you need to actually change it here as well. So the renderer, turnip standard, and then turnip 24.1.0. So you need to do this as well before you start any games. Isn't Frost the bad guy in Blade? I think isn't Frost in Mortal Kombat as well? Akshat Bhargava, will it work in Odin 2? Yes, this is an Odin 2. This is an Odin 2 base. So this little tutorial I'm giving you now is for Odin 2. Yeah, so once you've done those two things, the DirectX to Vulkan wrapper and the turnip driver, in theory you should be good to go. Good to go before you run your game. So you just do those two things which I just pointed out, and then these other tools, to be honest, I've not looked at them that much. Sometimes you'll have some games which don't work in Windows. They'll complain about being Windows 10 games, and you can change the Windows version here in Start System Tools Wine Configuration. You can change the Windows version to Windows 10 if you happen to need Windows 10 to run a particular game, and then that will fool the game into thinking it's Windows 10. Okay, and I mean that's pretty much all I needed to do to get the game, to get what few games I've got working. So make sure you've got a DXVK set up, make sure you've got a renderer set up. After you do that, you can reboot. So what you can do to reboot is just close this window down here, and it'll ask you, do you want to exit? You just say yes, and it'll reboot the container. So I'll start my Resident Evil 7 container. And then, Michael Benny, how do you activate Windows? So this is not actually Windows. This is not actually Windows. So what I'll do is I'll just go to my... I can't read this, so I need to hold it close to my face. Yeah, I'll go to my games folder. So the D drive here is the SD card. Sorry, not the download folder. The D drive is the download folder in my device, because I've just transferred them all through USB. I put all the games on the internal storage. I'll go into my Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and then there's some extra additional files here to bypass some of the Steam Steam launcher, because we're not using a Steam launcher here. And then what we'll do is we'll run the main exe for the game. Hopefully it works. Generally, if it doesn't work or if it doesn't do anything, what you want to do is just bring the sidebar out and just check the task manager. And if your game has not appeared here, it means that nothing happened. It means it broke. So if you don't see like re7.exe or Metal Gear Solid.exe or here, it means that something didn't work, and you'll need to come back and look at your configuration. So I've just created a container from scratch basically, and it works with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is actually pretty good. TMS, yes, this channel has absolutely become explaining computers. We will get back to the games in a moment, I promise. Yeah, you can kill Explorer. So at this point, you probably haven't got any controls. So you want to, again, bring that sidebar out and then press Input Controls. So in the Input Controls menu, what I did is you can create a profile. So you press that gear over here, and then you press plus to add a new profile. So I'll just call it joypad, or I call it joystick. I call it joystick, yeah. And then my new joystick profile. You'll see down here that I've not binded my Xbox wireless controller to anything, and the Xbox wireless controller is actually your Odin2. So what you do is, this is all good here. You've named your new profile. You press that Xbox controller, and then it will tell you press a button on your controller. So I'm going to press B, yeah. And why does it say A? It says A because it's an Xbox controller. So I will make A the gamepad. Whoops, the gamepad button A, and then you need to repeat this for. So this is going to be I'll do it here instead. Okay. Yeah, so I'll do it for the stick. So my stick is now acting as the mouse, but maybe I don't want it to act as the mouse. I want it to be the gamepad, and then gamepad, right thumb right. Basically, you need to do all of that to get the X input working. Where is the any button? Good one. Good one. Basically, yeah, you need to do all of this. It's a bit boring, but you only need to do it once. So when your controller is set up, your profile will be all good, and it will look. I'll just delete that old profile. Your profile will look something like this. So here's my Odin2 profile. Yeah, your profile will look something like this, where everything is configured and it's all clean and it's all good. So then when you want to use your profile in a game, you bring it out, bring the sidebar out, press input controls, then change this to Odin2, and then that will make your controller profile active. So you can see my buttons work now. So this was the main stumbling block for me, because a lot of Winlator versions, the controls just didn't bloody work at all. And there was all this stuff about input, input bridge, and input bridge I just found really confusing. So that stuff was just a pain in the ass. So at this point, I've got a game running, I've got my controls working, it's all good, and then at this point we're in business. We can play a game. So I was super happy to get Metal Gear Solid working last week. Yeah, so we can do Hadoukens, and it's all. Oh, can we do a Hurricane Kick? Okay, there you go. Yeah, so at that point your game's working. Let's just so you're probably wondering why it's not full screen. So yeah, that's another thing. That's just part of the game, right? So yeah, you're wondering, okay, can I make this game full screen? That will be in the options. So in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you just set your resolution full screen, 720p, turn some anti-aliasing on, press A, boom, done. So then you're great. You're all good. Is Winlator Hadoukenable? Yes, it certainly is. It certainly is. So at this point, your game's good. Everything's working. Everything's fantastic. What you want to do is how do I quit this game now? Bloody hell! How do I quit? Oh, exit. Okay. Yeah. So this. Oh. Crap. Why can't I quit? Okay, exit. Oh, I think it's because I messed up my buttons, right? Anyway, if you want to quit your game, you bring that out and then you press exit here. But then maybe you want to... hang on. Maybe you want to have a shortcut. So, you create your... What you do is you create a... I can't see it. You find your exe file here. You right click on your... So right click is two fingers. You press create shortcut, and that creates a shortcut on your desktop. But then that also creates a shortcut. Whoa, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so you can see I got my shortcut up here top left. I'm going to quit my container. Boom, quit my container. And then if I go into the Winlator menu up here, I can see my shortcut. So that's the Resident Evil 7 container that I was using earlier. And then that's my shortcut from the Ultimate vs. Capcom 3 container. So yeah, this is really bloody confusing. Monty Vaughn, I think you can, you probably can just YouTube how to install and set up Winlator. But the problem is there's hundreds of guides to do this, and some of the guides are like 45 minutes and like an hour and a half, and they might be too technical. So this is a bit of a shortcut, it's a little bit of a simplified way to set up Winlator. So I hope that helps you guys, because it's not trivial. I'll say that. It's definitely not trivial. It's bloody difficult actually. And if you get any other games running, be sure to leave me a comment, because I want to know. I want to know who else can do this, because I want to see this on more handhelds, I think, because it'll be cool. It'll be cool. All right, so let's get back into some Monty Vaughn. Yes, I did. So, the simplified version is by an x86 device, yes. But if you do want to play some Winlator games, it is possible. All right, so for the next part of this game, this stream, what we're going to do is we're going to play the other Marvel vs. Capcom games. So I have a RG556 here. Let's get back to playing some games. I thought I'd do a little Marvel vs. Capcom retrospective. So we'll start with the second one. We'll go backwards. Okay. But this time I'm using my 556. So as I was saying, I don't like 3 or 2. I think the first game is the best one.
Capcom presents.
So this game, I have a widescreen hacks on. I'm using RetroArch Flycast, and I also have upscaling. I think it's at 1440 by 1080 upscale, so it's quite a large upscale. Right. For me, two is better than 3, but then 1 is better than 2. But 2 does have this legendary music. Let's choose a Zangief. Let's choose Amiga. So yeah, original Marvel vs. Capcom 2 wasn't widescreen, obviously, but it does look good with the widescreen icon. It looks brilliant, actually. Well, I did that. Oh, I did that pile driver. Excellent. Oh, did I not? Okay, I thought I didn't have the buttons configured. Oh wait a minute, how do I switch to how do I switch to my other guy? Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, MVC3, they also changed to, they changed the way that you switch to characters as well. They just look better. I mean, everything just looks better in this game. TMS, I'm sure some people do it. I'm sure some people have that. I was so TMS. I was looking up some. You know, do you remember Captain Blood and Jean-Michel Jarre? I was watching some of that the other day. I was watching some Captain Blood Super Play, and someone in the comments said I have Captain Blood, the Jean-Michel Jarre remix as my ringtone, and I thought that was pretty funny. Because I was playing some, I was I was trying to find some Atari ST classics to try on the RG35XX. I never knew what to do in Captain Blood. My brothers were playing it, so I wasn't. Oh, come on. That's more like it. I just think it was better, man. It was just better. Three was too complicated. Sutang Wong, this is RetroArch Flycast Core. I do have an upscale and I do have widescreen enabled. So there will be some bugs, widescreen bugs, but I think it's quite good. Like this looks great in widescreen. The original game was not in widescreen. Trying to do the bloody pile drive on him. It was just a more chill game, man. It was like, you know, it was, and you could still follow it. You could still follow what was going on. I think two is better than 3. Oh. Like, it still had depth. Still have the depth, the super moves, the combos, but yeah, it's good. MVC2 was good, but the best one is the first one. I feel like the characters look really good as well in this game. I don't know what happened in 3. They look a bit, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just playing like upscaled. But I mean, I was still playing 720p and you know, it's still decent on the Odin2. Oh, I got hit. Oh, I got a pile driver off. Come on. Yeah, I feel like Capcom fighting games kind of peaked for me anyway. Like Street Fighter 03. I feel like Street Fighter 03 was the best one. I mean, Street Fighter 3 is okay, but yeah, I feel like that game was my favorite. That's my favorite Capcom fighter, Street Fighter 03. Okay, let's go to Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Ulysses 31, what the hell's that? Ulysses 31. I've got no idea what that is. This era of Capcom where they had that logo was yeah, it was kind of peak Capcom. Okay, not familiar with Ulysses 31, I'm afraid. I love it when you put a coin into Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and then the lady shouts like, "Let's go crazy!" Yeah, that's like the sample that plays when you put a coin in. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, I don't need to do any of that. Okay, I mean, this is all good. The music was top tier as well. So my favourite characters were War Machine and Gambit. That was my go-to combo. Yeah, this is definitely my favourite one. I thought 2 and 3 is just too much. Everything was spot on in this game. Oh, I thought he got me then. This is the Dreamcast version, Sutang War. The Dreamcast version was the best home conversion. I feel like some of the effects in this game don't work too well on like an LCD screen. Because I remember I played this on a TV, on a tube TV, and I think I remember the background effects looking much better than just like flashing lights. Because everything was kind of made for TVs back then. Oh, I lost my gambit. Like I'd never seen anything like that super move, like, because I didn't play Marvel vs. Street Fighter or X-Men Children of the Atom before, so you'd never seen anything like this kind of super move before, and it was ridiculous. Okay, let's leave it there for Marvel vs. Capcom. So this has been a little bit of a... actually, I'll leave it with this music on. Because I feel like Marvel vs. Capcom got a bit worse as time went on. And I do definitely prefer the earlier ones to this one down here. You know, even though it's impressive to see. And when I was trying to play the Vita version, I was... Actually, the bloody buttons work now. The buttons are working perfectly now. When I was playing this on the Vita, I was like... I was a little bit bummed out, actually. I was a little bit disappointed with it. Which is a bit... It's a bit sad, really, what happened to the series. Because it is quite a... You know, they got all of the... They got all of the characters, didn't they? It's quite unbelievable how they got all of these together. Okay. Yeah, it is crazy how they managed to get all of these licensed characters together in this game. Alright, let's call it a stream there. So, yeah, TMS and your Ulysses 31. I feel like it rings a bell, but I don't know. Capcom vs SNK was also the GOAT. Yeah, it was good. It was good, but it was that time when things started to go a bit, you know, off. I think Capcom vs SNK. It's okay. It's okay. MVC Infinite. Is there another one after this? I don't know. Okay, so let's call it a stream here. The versus music on the bus. Yeah, that would be... I mean, I would do that. Yeah. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys, for joining me in this Winlator journey. We will try and do a Winlator game every week. It's going to be difficult, but yeah, we'll try and do it. Captain Blood, I do want to... Have I got Captain Blood? Have I got it? You need a mouse to play Captain Blood, don't you? Yeah. Anyway. Thanks for joining and this little Marvel vs. Capcom retrospective. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you to TMS, Jared Brad, Tutang Wong, and everyone else in the Chemical Burrito, of course, Monty Vaughn, Ayan, Michael Benny, Ashkat Bargava. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Andrew 38, and all the other regular Chicken McNugget, of course. Acrylic, Drubo, Peyton, Airwalk 1616. Goodest. Thank you so much. Peter B as well. This won't work at all. Alright, see you guys, and I'll join you in the next stream. Smash the like button if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, then smash the like button anyway. We should be getting some new handhelds this week, hopefully, or we'll see. But yeah, we'll see about that. See you guys later. Bye bye.